Phase 3 preview, Season of Discovery, World of Warcraft. I wasn't expecting this, guys. A release date. And also, like, a lot of information. 10 days to go. Less than 10 days to go, if you think about it. It's crazy. It's insane.
Hi, everyone. I'm Claystone, Associate Production Director of WoW Classic.
Claystone. Claystone. What a name, man. Claystone.
Welcome to our Season of Discovery Phase 3 preview. As our team has shared in the past, we have been blown away by the reception to Season of Discovery, and we're so excited to share this sneak peek at what's ahead with you. So with that, let's take a look at what we'll be covering today.
In the description.
We'll kick things off with raid information.
Skinny Noodle. Scroll
Then
down a bit.
a preview of rune abilities,
Wow.
followed by our PvP updates, changes and additions being made to world events, a look at what's coming to professions, and close it out with a very important system update, and more, which you're definitely going to want to stick around for.
Stick for the more.
So just like last time, some disclaimers. We're going to put the build up on PTR soon to check our era and hardcore realms. But like all the other phases, Phase 3 of Season of Discovery will not have a PTR for player testing. Still, there will be some data mining that occurs in advance of the launch. But as we've been saying since the beginning of Season of Discovery, not everything data mined will actually be in the phase or future phases, so speculators beware. And conversely, there's more to discover in this upcoming phase and beyond than we're going to talk about ahead of time, and we want your feedback. Everything we do across Classic continues to be a journey that is co-written by you, the players, and we can't wait to hear your thoughts on all of it. All right, so I'm sure it is a total surprise that absolutely no one saw coming that the Temple of Atal Hakar, aka the Sunken Temple, will be our new and first 20-player level up raid. This raid is jam-packed with 8 bosses, tons of new items including new item sets, new and revamped epic drops, and up-leveled and rebalanced quest rewards.
Oh boy. Let's go a bit back. So 8 bosses. 8 bosses. I think this is without counting the mini bosses. The mini bosses is probably one event. So we will have Avatar Vakar, we'll have Ekranius, we'll have like Jamal the Prophet, we'll have like the mini bosses, we'll have the guy underground, I don't know what's his name, the troll, that's 5. We have 2 new drakes, that's 7. And who's the 8th? We're missing one. I think I say Shade. Skinny Noodle, thank you very much. I'll put your name on the list. Okay, 20 players. The sludge boss, probably, yeah. So probably the thing here that's going to be the interesting thing, it's going to be on a 7-day cooldown. It's not going to be 3 days anymore, so... Yep.
This is also when the level 50 class quests come online, which will provide a wide array of powerful items for each class. Jumping into a quick preview of a few of the bosses, the first boss in this raid is Atelarion, a massive berserker troll that acts as a bit of a janitor, cleaning up or potentially eating any person or thing that happens to fall down from the atrium above. If the fall doesn't kill you, this guy definitely will. Next up, we have a brand new boss, the Festering Rot Slime. This engorged, gelatinous monster inexorably patrols one of the outer rings of the Sunken Temple, consuming any wandering adventurers hapless enough to cross its path. A bit further into the raid, we have Jamal An and Ogam, a priest and an undead avenger, utterly dedicated to seeing the blood god Hakar return to the mortal world. These two will keep you on your toes and have a few tricks up their sleeve to keep the fight interesting each time you encounter them. The last boss in this preview is the mighty green dragon, Aranicus. Aranicus has been having a bit of a bad dream for the past few decades, and that dream is manifesting in our world in a variety of ways, which Nora will talk about in just a little bit. For those that make it to his lair, we can't recommend waking this big beast up, but if you do and are able to prevail, a lot of sweet loot will no doubt await you. Speaking of loot, here's a quick look at some of the awesome rewards you'll find inside the Sunken Temple. First up, we have a new take on the Drakestone item with a new Shadow Arcane spell damage variant. Next up is a rather unique weapon. Yes, it's an axe gun.
Shadow and Arcane. Oh, wait. Oh, this is for healer and Shadow Priest then. But still 7 damage? Could it be the Drakestone of the something? I don't know. Rare. Gun axe. So you can use the axe to fire a gun.
Shamans and paladins have felt left out for quite some time when it comes to having ranged weapons, and short of Egan's blaster, there's not much for them. Now, you too can have a gun that you can swing like an axe or shoot like a gun, with a cooldown, of course. It's unfortunately a bit slow on the reload.
Oh, wow.
Lastly, we have a quick look at our tier tokens. Similar to AQ40, we'll have 2 different tokens with several classes on each. We really like the token system in Nomergon, but it sometimes felt a bit bad to be rolling against the entire raid whenever one dropped. So now we'll have 2 different tokens, and multiple will drop on each boss that can drop set tokens. And here's a quick look at some of the epic rewards.
Wow. It's gonna be like in AQ40, right?
First off, we've got a glow up for the classic Embrace of the Serpent robe for healers.
It's healing, man. It's healing. Why do you make only for healing the chest? I don't understand, man. Why? And it's not even that good, 33 healing power. Is it? Okay, never mind.
We've also updated the sword Dragon's Call. One cool thing about this weapon.
So 16 attack power, 260 speed. This is basically almost like a Crawl Blade. Crawl Blade would still be better, but it's a level 51. Chance on hit calls forth an Emerald Dragon Wall to protect you. 260.
Is that we've added several brand new glow
Not
effects
unique.
for weapons
Wow.
in this patch. And this
Dual
is one of
wielding.
the first items to take advantage of having a very fancy, but still quite classic, new glow. And just like in previous raids, we've got several fun items lined up as well. The first item is the Atalai Blood Ceremony, which allows you and a friend or frenemy to play a deadly game where only one survives. This item is great for when you need to decide something, and a coin flip just won't cut it. The Unorthodox
Wow, that's cool. Death roll trinket.
Hex Stick allows you to embrace your inner critter and transform into a disgusting little creepy crawler to dazzle and disgust your friends. These are just a few examples, and there are several cool things coming with this patch.
Wow.
We've intentionally left the best ones for you to discover yourself. Lastly, one bit of feedback we took to heart this patch was that a lot of updated quest rewards for previous level up raids could feel a bit underwhelming. So for Sunken Temple, we've actually gone a step further and helped rebalance and restat many of the existing quest rewards. The first example here is a Vanguard Helm, and you can see we've made it a bit more attractive to the classes that can use it. And Helm of Exile.
Is this attractive to you guys? This one with 18 agility, 18 intellect, 11 stamina.
As well. And while not a quest reward, we have also carried forward some of the work we did updating dungeon drops in the previous phase, and revamped even more dungeon drop rewards, including Princess Theradras's Scepter. And with that, I'll turn it over to Matt to give us a preview of runes and just some of the new abilities you'll get access to.
Hey folks, I'm Matt Everett, Senior Engineer on the Classic team.
Oh,
I'll go over some
Matt Everett, Senior Software Engineer.
of the new runes you might find in Phase 3. Before that, I want to note that we heard your feedback that a lot of runes last phase weren't accessible until level 40. We've tried to balance Phase 3, so you'll find more runes while leveling, but you'll still have some to look forward to at 50. Let's look at Druids first. Gore gives you a chance to reset some key feral cooldowns and generate some rage.
Wow.
And Improved Bark Skin gives you all the benefits of Bark Skin without the drawbacks, and you can cast it on your friends. Next up are Hunters. With Lock and Load, your traps grant you a free shot with no cooldown. This could be a great 1-2 punch with something like Double Chimera Shot.
Each time one of your next trap is triggered, your next shot ability within 20 seconds costs no mana and does not incur a cooldown. So you can do like explosive shot after a trap. Wow, faster kills in Ulda. Focus Fire. Engrave your bracers with the Focus Fire. Consumes all applications of Frenzy from your pet, increasing your range attack speed by 3% and granting 4 focus to your pet for each application of Frenzy consumed. Stacking up to 3 times. Wow.
Focus Fire lets your pet build up Frenzy, which increases its attack speed.
So basically, the new rotation is gonna be Trap on cooldown with on ranged hunters, right? Because lock and load is supposed to be like to reset your Chimera shot. So then if you do Chimera, Trap Chimera. But I'm looking for it to see how we can use it in farming in big pools. That's my interest. It's looking good.
You can activate it to consume your pet's Frenzy, boosting your attack speed and granting your pet Focus. Next up are Mages. Deep Freeze is a powerful 5-second stun on a frozen target.
Wow.
If the target's immune to stuns, it takes significant damage instead. Balefire Bolt lets you live on the edge of risk and reward, dealing heavy damage but decreasing your spirit. If you reach 0 spirit, you die. And by the way, if you're leveling a new mage, you might find this rune earlier than you expect. Paladins. Improved Sanctuary makes you even tankier, increasing Sanctuary's damage blocked and damage dealt back to attackers. Wrath lets you crit with Consecration and applies your melee.
Increases the damage prevented by your Blessing of Sanctuary by 100 and increases damage done by your Blessing of Sanctuary by 30%. Okay. So AoE farming with the Paladin. Do we level a Paladin, boys? Well, we have a Paladin on Crusader Strike. We have to get him to 40 then. Wait a minute. Are we gonna farm with a Paladin? And then we have Wrath. Engrave your helm with a Wrath run. Your Consecration damage can now do critical strikes. Oh my god. And damage from your Exorcism, Holy Shock, and Holy Wrath. Gain additional critical strike chance equal to your melee critical chance. Oh my god. That's it. We're playing Paladin, boys. We're playing the Paladin. We have a Paladin on Crusader Strike, NA.
Melee crit chance to your Holy Shock, Holy Wrath, and Exorcism spells. Let's look at Priests. Pain and Suffering allows your Mind Flay ability to refresh the duration of Shadow Word Pain, while Surge of Light causes your crits to make your next Smite or Flash Heal instant cast.
Boring.
Rogues. Honor Among Thieves is incredibly powerful, granting you a combo point each time a party member scores a crit. It does have a short cooldown, but you'll be swimming in combo points.
Wow. Okay.
With this rune. Cut to the Chase makes it easier to keep Slice and Dice up by allowing Eviscerate and Envenom to refresh it back to its max duration. Next up are Shamans. When you deal
you have perma Slice and Dice up, boys, so you can focus now only on damage dealing finishing moves. I think this is going to be good for the rogues, by the way. I think this is going to burst at least 100 to 200 DPS. I think those are good for the rogues, man. Wait a minute. So Eviscerate and Envenom refresh either your Slice and Dice or your Blade Dance duration to its maximum duration. Not only that you don't need the points in Assassination to increase the duration of your Slice and Dice, so you can free a couple of talent points. And also you get like Honor Among Thieves. So Envenom spam is gonna be the new thingy. I don't know how it's gonna work, boys. Seems pretty boring. And people just want to do like a lot of damage. They don't care if the rotation is boring or not sometimes.
Max duration. Next up are Shamans. When you deal melee damage, Mental Dexterity applies your intellect to your attack power, and then applies 30% of your attack power to your spells. Riptide is a fan.
Man, weren't Shamans already strong? Oh my god. Shamans are going to be number 1 DPS, it seems like, in phase 3. Yep. S-class DPS, boys. Let's go. 100% of your intellect. Do they have a lot of intellect? I mean, they have in the set. And your spell damage and healing by 30% of your total attack power for 1 minute. 1 minute buff. Riptide.
Fan favorite that instantly heals the target for an initial amount and then heals for a similar amount over time. When you chain heal a target with Riptide active, It gets consumed to power up the chain heal. Warlocks. Pandemic makes damage over time spells even more overwhelming by letting them crit. With this rune, you can summon the iconic Fell Guards to
Okay, we're done, boys. Warlocks are going to dot people and they're gonna die. Like, if you're dotted by a warlock, you're dead, pretty much. Felguard. This is a Bracer's rune. Oh, this is gonna be such a mess, mate. Well, my mage had gear with minus stamina, man. My mage had like 1.3k HP. The warlock will put 2 dots on me. I'm gonna be dead, man, before I can dispel them. Listen. He puts 5 dots on me. I manage to dispel 2, then I'm dead. Basically. Oh boy. Now we can ice block, we can use shield, so it's gonna be fine.
supplement your stable of demon pets. The Felguard is a powerful melee damage dealer capable of both tanking and dealing out serious punishment. He's not the only new demon you can summon this phase.
Man, the crit on the dots is huge because the Warlock has now so many dots. That's huge, I think.
But I'll let you discover that on your own. Warriors. With Taste for Blood, your rend damage lets you use Overpower once per 6 seconds. Sword and Board gives your Devastate and Revenge.
Whenever your rend ability causes damage, your Overpower ability will activate for 9 seconds or 1 attack. These effects will not occur more than once every 6 seconds. So free Overpower. What does that mean? Do you have to swap stances? It's gonna be good though. You're gonna have improved overpower with 50% crit if you have like a huge good weapon. It's gonna be a lot of damage. Deep wounds as well. Interesting. So how would the rotation be?
A chance to reset Shield Slam's cooldown and make it cost no rage.
When Devastate and Revenge abilities deal damage, they have a 30% chance to refresh the cooldown on a Shield Slam, reducing the rage cost by 100.
This time, Warriors get a bonus rune. The much-requested Gladiator stance lets you live that Sword and Shield Gladiator fantasy. This increases your damage when wearing a shield, as well as letting you use abilities from other stances at the cost of survivability.
So wait a minute, we're gonna see like DPS with Sword and Board? Or what are we doing here? Isn't this like an aggressive stance that increases damage while you are wearing a shield by 10%? Reduces armor by 30% and threat generated by 10. Well, it does reduces armor and threat, so it's mostly kind of a PvP stance. Oh, more macros for warriors, boys. Be ready to.
This is one we've really been looking forward to bringing to the season, and we can't wait to see what warriors are able to do with it. I love watching players work together to find all the new runes each phase, and I'm looking forward to this one. Up next, Nora will join us to talk about PvP updates.
PvP,
hey,
boys.
Thanks, Matt. My name's Nora Valletta, and I'm a lead software engineer on WoW Classic. I'm here to talk about some of the other updates we've got coming in Phase 3, starting with PvP. One of the things we've learned from previous phases is that PvP can be a bit rough when the only thing available is PvE gear that is generally set up with output stats rather than survivability stats. As a result, we're going to be introducing a brand new level 50 PvP set that requires ranks 5 through 7 to equip and earn.
Oh my god, I need to PvP, boys. Oh my god. PvP streams. PvP streams, boys, let's go. Can we do Aldrak Valley at level 50? Or does it require 51? Well, we do Arati Basin, who cares? We make a pre-made. Anyone from the chat wants to join my pre-made? We need like geared people.
This is similar to the rank 10 and rank 13 PvP sets in that it's a full 6-piece set with appropriate PvP set bonuses.
Whoa!
There will also be a starter set available from a new faction called the Emerald Wardens, but we'll go into more detail on them later on. Here's a quick look at a few of the new PvP set items.
So let's see the Paladin one. The Paladin one has stamina and intellect. It has spell power 16. And it has a chance to get a critical strike with melee spells. This is for Shockadins, basically. Lots of stamina, lots of intellect, lots of armor. The set bonus is 15 stamina for 3 pieces. And 18 spell power for 18 pieces. You know what? This could easily be a PvE set as well. Then we have the Druid one, which has stamina and intellect. Also damage and healing. Oh, so they're all similar. 15 stamina, so they have more stamina and spell power. And then we have a healing one, which gives 20 healing spells to the head, and also the same 33 healing bonus set. You can't see it, but it's almost similar like this one's. 6-piece set, this is. Chest, legs, boots, gloves, shoulders, helm. I'm curious how they look, though. Do you think it's a straight-up copy of the level 60 ones? I wish they wouldn't be like a straight-up copy of the level 60 ones. I think they would be. I wish there would be something new.
Items. You'll notice that they are a bit more specialized and focused than the previous level 60 PvP sets were. Each class will have a variety of sets available to them, such that multiple different...
So you can get like whatever set you want. If you get the rank, you can buy like all the sets. I think PvP is better than PvE, guys. In this season. PvP is better than PvE. Because if you're playing a class that play multiple specs, you can get set for...
Specs or roles are covered. We're also making a few adjustments to the Blood Moon event, including adding brand new rewards for level 50. We'll also be adding a new currency for the level 50 rewards called Massacre Coins, which you'll earn when killing higher level players in the event. We'll be retiring the Bloodstained Commendations that are currently available from the Bloodcoin vendor.
The Bloodstained Commendations are the one that gives you 250 honor. Are these the ones? So, I need to get rank 5 before the next phase, right? I think that should be our goal for Mage and for Hunter. So we have to... How much do we have to PvP? I mean, with my Mage is not going to be that much. So this is one of the things you can do before phase 3. PvP a lot. 42.5 from rank 3.
Existing commendations that you have will still function after the patch, but don't hold on to them forever. They will expire after 2 weeks. We think it's okay if you're able to bank these now.
Whoa, wait a minute. So you can get to rank 5 and then have commendations after? And get to rank 7 in the first week? Did I explain okay? So they remove them, but they will still exist after the patch. Okay, let me listen again.
To give you a bit of a leg up on PvP ranking at the start of the next phase, but we don't necessarily want you to be able to hoard enough coins to get you all the way up to rank 14 later on when that rank becomes available. We'll have a new PvP honor consumable token for level 50 as well, purchasable with the new currencies. And how about some gear? Here are a few of the new items available via...
Oh wow, so hunters... Listen, hunters will get a crossbow straight up at 60 epic from the shop, which has 310 speed, boys. 310 speed, but something is really wrong with it. It's something wrong with the damage. Why is it only 72 with 108? Because this is slower. It must have like higher damage. For a 310 speed, it must be like... my gun, it's 100 top damage. Headhunter's Barbed Spear. What is the typo? Throne. Wait. Never mind. Yeah, gun is 100 on a 290 speed. How is this still 100 10 levels later? Throne will be for melee. Okay, let's...
The Blood Moon event in Phase 3. Do note that...
Corrupted Smashbringer. 48 damage mace. Man, straight up.
The Headhunter's Barbed Spear is a warrior-only weapon. We also realized
What do you
that
only,
ranged
yeah.
hunters may have felt a bit left out last time.
Yeah, but we were left out, but still, this is like... It's the same damage as the gun, man. Let me show you right here, because I'm logged on the hunter. So the level 40 gun has 100 top-end damage on a 290 speed, right? Why this a level 50, 10 items level, with a 310 speed has a 1.8? The lower, yeah, the lower end damage is higher, but still, like... We're still left out. Some issues in design here, I would say. You know what's gonna be interesting? This is gonna be interesting for anyway.
So we've gone ahead and given them a pretty strong crossbow option in this round.
Pretty strong, okay.
Well, Phase
You
3
say
of
so?
Season of Discovery will soon be upon us, and with it comes new loot, new opportunities to gain experience, and new adventure. Let's take a quick look at our new PvE world event called Nightmare Incursions. Picture, if you will, the 4 emerald portals scattered across Azeroth. At this
Ooh.
point in history, the Dragons of Nightmare, Terrar, Ysondra, Emerus, and Lethan have not yet arrived to spread their terror. However, as you approach each portal, you can't help but sense hidden danger. Something's not quite right. Those brave enough to enter an emerald portal will be plunged into a realm
Oh man, I'm so
seething with
hyped. I
corruption
don't know,
and
I am-
overrun with dragons, treants, and other poor souls driven mad by the corruption. But beware, not all foes are alike. Some enemies can be defeated by a single seasoned adventurer, while others are perhaps too powerful to be faced alone. Nightmare Incursions offer repeatable PvE content for levels 25 through 50. To check it out, simply enter one of the 4 emerald portals located in Duskwood, Ashenvale, Hinterlands, or Feralus. This is a great new opportunity to earn experience, and those who choose to jump in and fight the corruption will have the chance to earn reputation with an all-new faction called the Emerald Wardens. With great danger comes great rewards. The Emerald Wardens will be very grateful for your help and will be offering a selection of choice new items to sweeten the deal.
Show some
One
items,
of the
show
cool
some
things
items.
about Nightmare Incursions is that we plan to include some rewards at different player levels, as there will be content available for players roughly level 20 all the way to 50 across all 4 Nightmare
So
portals.
if you're level 25 in Duskwood, you can go there and do the event while leveling, which is great. Start to get reputation as you level.
The first example is this Nightmare Siphon Trinket, which could be really fun for low-level alts. For
Restores 150 health and gives mana... 150 health and mana when you kill a target that gives experience or honor. This effect cannot occur more than once every 10 seconds. Guys, this is Beast Trinket for farming Uldaman or leveling in Uldaman. You get hit by the trogs. Every 10 seconds you get 150 health and mana. That's nice, man. I like that one. Let's see
For
next.
level 50, we have the Roar of the Dream, a somewhat unique ring that has a sizable spell damage proc on it. Lastly, we also
So 14 stamina and procs 66 spell power for 10 seconds. Honestly, I do prefer like something with flat spell power, to be honest. I'm not sure if it has an internal cooldown or how it works. That's not a trinket, that's a finger. Are you talking about the first trinket? About this one I'm talking. 66 for 10 seconds. If it procs once per minute, that's 6 average spell power. 6.6 average spell power. So if I have a ring with 15%, 15 spell power, it might be better than this one overall. Maybe this would be good in short fights, but even short fights, only 10 seconds uptime. Okay, let's see the shoulders. We have shoulders here with 14 attack power. And we have stamina, 14 attack power, and chance to critical strike. There's 6 set bonus.
also plan to take a page from the Burning Crusade playbook and make a level 50 PvP set available at Honored with the new Emerald Wardens faction.
So those are beginners PvP sets. They don't really have stats, so don't worry too much. See, they have 11 stamina, attack power, and crit. They're not bad. But probably a lot of stamina looks at stamina set bonus.
Emerald Wardens faction. This set isn't as powerful as some of the other PvP item rewards we plan to add this phase, but it's a good stepping stone into the better items later on. With the launch of Phase 3 comes a host of interesting new updates to professions. Continuing on from the first two phases, we'll be introducing a new quest chain to give players access to new nightmare armaments, crafting recipes, as well as some fun things for engineers.
I think I want to start this quest as soon as I level. So once I get to 60, I can go straight into Sunken Temple and get my stuff.
Enchanting, and alchemy.
Whoa, 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 whoa. New epic shoulders, engineering bracers, reusable alchemy flask, and more. Epic shoulders, probably leatherworking, engineering bracers.
Some fun things for engineering, enchanting, and alchemy. We've also learned a few lessons from the previous phase of professions, so the cost to access the recipes will be essentially free in terms of raw gold, and
Wow.
the cost of the recipes that Ziri offers and Nomargon are going to be decreased as well, in case you want to buy additional recipes for completion or you have an alt that wants to snag the recipes for themselves. We think gold sinks are important and are going to explore different ways later on to do that are not so directly on the critical path of gear progression. Here's a quick look at a few of the crafted items you can make this phase.
So yeah, the male shoulders are leatherworking, by the way. So we have a tailoring, cloth. Yeah, probably the plate one are blacksmithing. We have a epic shoulders. Let me check. For tailoring, increases damage and healing done by magical spells and effects by 13. Damaging spells have a chance to increase your spell damage by 30. And chance to dodge by 2. This has no effect outside the areas under the influence of the nightmare. Wait, what? Damaging spells have a chance to increase your spell damage by 30 and chance... Okay, but this is only... Why? Why would you make that? I don't like items or enchants that work only in like they made in Nomar. Listen, they made in Nomar an enchant called Dismantle that only works on half of the bosses because only works on mechanical things. Why? Why?
There are many more across various professions and for various specs and roles. As you can see, some of these items offer interesting new on-equip effects which are applied while you're under the influence of the nightmare. If you
Why do you are under the influence of the nightmare?
you'd prefer to stay nightmare.
Yeah, risks are great for PvP. Immunity to fear for 15 seconds. But in terms of stats, like you can find similar bracers at 50. I think I can quickly... Deep Fury bracers? Deep Fury bracer. I think those are the ones. Let me check. There we go, boys. We have bracers with 15 agility, 4 strength for level 50, called Deep Fury bracers. Yeah, so it's not like a huge deal. They have 5 extra strength, which can make them better for... But for range hunter, the Deep Fury ones are better. Or the Warsong Gulch bracers, yeah, are still better. I think they should tweak them a bit if they want to make them appealable. It's like a... I don't even know. What can they do? Feral bracers?
Nightmare free, we've got some cool new items such as the void-powered Slayer's Vambraces, which can grant
This
you
is definitely a PvP item.
immunity to fear for 15 seconds. We do plan to allow you to pick up specializations this phase, as well as allow you to level to 300 in each profession. Additionally, we've added a few new surprises here. For example, we are adding a quest to allow you to get additional potion, elixir, and flask procs when crafting those types of consumables.
Alchemy money-making professions.
You'll also have to do a little bit of legwork to unlock these things, but the benefits should be well worth it. The lion's share of our new toys involving professions specs will be coming after level 60, and we have some very cool things planned there to allow you to make the most of your professions. Well, that was a lot of updates. I hope I didn't forget anything. Josh, I'm not forgetting anything, am I?
Now that you mention it, Nora, there is one small system update you might have.
Epic WoW Team Hoodie. 10 stamina, 10 intellect, 10 frost resistance. Equip increases coziness and comfort by 11.
Missed. But first, hi, I'm Josh Greenfield, senior game producer on WoW Classic. So there is one small system change coming, and honestly the update is so minor we almost didn't mention it, because we didn't think anyone would really care, but since we're all previewing things, we figured we might as well. So, in 1.15.2 with Phase 3, you may happen upon a dashing dwarf from a faraway land that has one very special talent that he wants to share with you, for a small fee of course. Actually, to be a little bit more specific, he has 2 sets of special talents to share. Like I said, we were pretty sure this wouldn't be a big deal to most
Let's go,
players.
boys.
We probably should have just left it out of the presentation entirely. So, with that, we're
Dual
approaching the
wield.
home stretch.
Dual,
We've got a
spec.
tiny bit more to discuss, and we want to take some time to cover a few other miscellaneous
Dual spec for 50 gold apparently. Wow. You can get it to level 40, so you can start experimenting while you level with 2 specs, which is great.
topics, commonly asked questions, as well as a quick look at how things will start to shape up at level 60. So let's jump right into that. So the first topic here is world buffs. As with the previous phases, we'll continue to allow you to use the previous world buff up through the current max level. The new raid, Sunken Temple, will also include a new world buff. We'll also be making some rather powerful consumables available for exchange on a certain NPC using materials found in the Sunken Temple raid. These are spiritually similar to the Zanza elixirs that you could obtain by exchanging items found in Zul'Gurub. They're quite powerful, so you'll definitely want to bring them with you to the raid when you can. Also, as with previous phases, we did want to clarify that bankable, repeatable turn-in items will not function to allow you to level quickly from 40 to 50.
Remember what I told you a couple of days ago, a week ago? Don't buy troll thingies. Don't buy water pouches. Don't buy it's not gonna work. Stop thinking like in the past.
I really love the preparation aspects of original WoW, and things like pre-questing are great, but being able to bank hundreds or even thousands of repeatable quest turn-in items to get multiple levels right when the phase begins is not going to be supported in this or any phase going forward. To be clear, this includes things like Marks of Honor, Wastewander water pouches, and the troll necklaces from the hinterlands. One of the big lessons we've learned in Season of Discovery is how tricky it can be to balance the level up journey and the outdoor world, but to also encourage players to play multiple characters. It's tricky to manage, especially against a seasonal backdrop where the content phases are relatively short by World of Warcraft standards. To help out with this a bit, we introduced a very powerful Discoverer's Delight XP buff at the midpoint of Phase 2. And while that was effective at increasing the speed at which you could level alts, it didn't really help to reduce the fatigue that came with leveling your first main character. By way of a compromise, in Phase 3, you will earn 50% additional XP from all sources from levels 40 to 49, and this will be active right when Phase 3 goes live. This is just to give a slight nudge right away. It will still be a sizable number of hours to hit 50, but this will help move that along without feeling like you're either just flying through zones or conversely in danger of running out of quests if questing is your preferred leveling method.
50% XP buff from 40 to 49.
Note that the 100% buff from 1 through 39 will remain in place as well.
Wow.
Overall, we think that these buffs are a decent solution, but they aren't what we consider to be ideal. We're going to carry a lot of what we learned forward if we do something like this again, and maybe look at other adjustments we can make to help smooth the leveling curve in general. Additionally, as with Black Fathom Deeps before, Nomergon will give a sizable amount of XP for each boss kill, so continuing to run that with your guild will be
So basically the best thing to do once the new patch is coming up is to run a Nomer.
a worthwhile activity when it is available to you. On the same token, we see Nightmare Incursions as a good quick way to get a good chunk of XP if you find yourself wanting a change of pace from your normal leveling routine. There's a lot of repeatable content that gives experience there. As for the raid release and lockout schedule, we've been thinking a lot about this, and we've decided to shift Sunken Temple to a weekly lockout, and it will be available right at the release of Phase 3, kind of similar to what we did with Nomergon in Phase 2.
Weekly, boys. Sunken Temple on a weekly. That means we're gonna need to have like 3 characters. We're gonna level another character to 40 and 50 then.
Players will have 5 full days to hit level 50 if you want to try and get in a raid during that first lockout, and then the raid will work like any other weekly lockout, resetting on Tuesday or your normal regional lockout day. We decided to make this swap for a few reasons. First, we've gotten feedback from players saying they would like to have a bit more consistency with their raid schedule, and with the raid size going up to 20 players in this phase, being able to plan long-term is even more important. We'll also talk about this a little bit more in the next few slides, but we're also thinking ahead to what the raiding landscape will look like once we hit level 60. That also informs this decision. Lastly, on this topic, we will be sure we are being generous with drops to compensate for this change. That's a good segue to talk about level 60 in-game. Since we're getting close to 60, we think it makes sense to dig into a few more details of what you can expect starting with Phase 4. This preview is very, very early and in no way comprehensive, but it's just meant to be a minor sneak peek at some things we have cooking. Again, to stress that much of what you will see here is still very much in development, and some specifics could and likely will change. This is more of a look at our general thought process, rather than the actual set-in-stone plans we have. As we alluded to a few slides ago, we plan to standardize raid lockouts from level 50 and beyond to a weekly reset. This includes things like Zul'Gurub, Ruins of Anchorage, and Onyxia's Lair. We also want to ensure with our itemization updates, many of the items, even in early raids, remain relevant for a pretty good long time. Ultimately, this is a very classic approach, and many items you got even as your pre-raid best in slot, such as
pretty much. I love
the Savage Gladiator chain, remained good for several tiers, and we want to carry this forward. With this in mind, however, we know you will likely want to run several different raids a week, but we want to avoid a situation where logistics gets messy because you have to contend with a large number of irregular, unwieldy raid lock timers. By the time Blackwing Lair is out, for example, there's going to be a large menu of relevant things to do at level 60, and being able to plan and schedule activities on a predictable cadence is going to be very important. Last quick note on this, while Upper Blackrock Spire is technically a 10-player raid, it's never had a lockout, and that will remain true. It's essentially a 10-player dungeon and will remain that way. So go farm those Briarwood raids. Another very frequently asked question we've received is, what about weapon skill racial bonuses? From the start, we've suggested that you shouldn't need to worry too much about things like orc and human weapon skills long term, and that you should feel good about choosing whatever race you want based on their aesthetics or other bonuses that race gets apart from weapon skill bonus. Every phase, we get asked for a status update on this, and we just wanted to confirm that yes, the solution is coming at level 60. At level 60, you will be able to discover a method to essentially swap in and out up to 2 weapon skill bonuses for your character. So, for example, if I were a Troll Fury Warrior and I had a mace and a dagger, I could swap my passive bonuses to +5 maces and +5 daggers. Please note that these weapon skill bonuses do not stack with each other or with a certain race's normal passive weapon skill bonus. So in the same scenario, if I were a human warrior, I already get +5 maces from my racial skill, so instead I might want to use +5 bows and +5 daggers so that maybe my bow skill had a better chance to hit if I was pulling higher level mobs. Just like your racial skills, however, these passives will stack with any weapon skill you gain from...
Well, can I choose to have on my undead mage the troll casting bonus? Huh? Is that a quest to which gives me the troll casting bonus?
Items, such as Obsidian Edge Blade or Maladath Ruined Blade of the Black Flight. These unlockable passives will be available right at level 60, and while there will be a short discovery to unlock them, everyone who wants them will have access to them early on. Continuing that line of thought, yes, priests will also be able to unlock other races' unique priest spells as well, such as Devouring Plague and Fear Ward. We don't want to spoil how this will work just yet, but just like
there will be a method to unlock priest racial passives on all other races.
Weapon skills, we do get asked about this a lot and wanted to confirm that this was also coming and would be available early on at level 60. There will also be discoveries tied to accessing these spells as well. So this is the last big item in our level 60 preview, and we think it's the most impactful, as items are obviously going to be a major focus of the new level 60 endgame. We're essentially totally revamping tier sets to add multiple variants for different specs and roles that each class can fill. We don't necessarily intend to make a full set for every single niche playstyle in every raid tier, as some classes could end up with upwards of 5 to 7 sets every few months. But we do want to try and cover a lot of the major roles as well as some...
I think priests will get all of the racials, yeah, fear word and stuff like that. It's gonna be weird.
Some new playstyles we've added to different classes so that most unique roles each class has access to get something cool at some point during their level 60 journey. Additionally, we plan to revamp many existing non-set dungeon and raid items at level 60, as well as adding new best in slot or nearly best in slot crafting options at 60. We think there's a lot of fun and interesting things we can do with the level 60 professions and profession specialization crafts, and we plan to expand on those to keep crafting more relevant for a longer period of time. Lastly, swapping profession specializations will be easier and more flexible, but will likely have a cost associated with doing so. We're still ironing out the final design for what this will look like, but if you're familiar with how this worked in Burning Crusade, that might be a good starting point to inform how this might work. Finally, here's a few quick examples of what potential new tier sets could.
So Night Slayer Hood, 17 agility, 1 hit, 1 crit. Wasn't Night Slayer Hood in the past 2% crit, agility and strength? So this got a nerf significantly. Let's see, we have you gain 5 energy every time you parry an attack. Blade Dance now also reduces the magic damage you take by 10%. Instead of putting the rogue into stealth, Vanish now grants 90% magic damage reduction for 5 seconds. PvP set, boys. Oh, it's parry here? Oh, this is like a tank spec. So there's gonna be a Night Slayer option for a DPS as well. Okay, this is a tanking one. You can see by the bonuses. So Rogue is gonna have like a DPS and tank set. And then we have a Lawbringer set, the banana set. This seems to be for Shokadin here. We have intellect and stamina. We have improves your chance to get a critical strike with melee and spells by 1%. We have 23 spell power, which is a lot. Crit, spell power, stamina, and intellect, perfect for PvP and maybe PvE as well. And then we have increases the damage, holy damage bonus over the Judgment of Crusader by 50. Increases the critical strike of your Holy Shock and Exorcism spells by 4%. Gives the Paladin a chance that every melee hit to cause holy damage to erupt from them, dealing 300 damage. Every melee hit gives the Paladin a chance on every melee hit, so the white damage, to cause holy damage to erupt from them. If you play like a Reckoning spec here, 300 damage erupt to all targets or only one? They're so like vague. And then we have the Boomy set here, 23 spell power. Critical hit of Rat and Starfire at 4%. Duration of Insect Swarm, and each tick of Moonfire damage over time grants your Starfire 10% increased damage, stacking up to 10 times. Wait a minute. So each tick of Moonfire damage over time effects grant your next Starfire 10% increased damage, stacking up 10 times. So that's 100% damage if you manage to keep Moonfire up. Interesting. But the old ones, like the classic ones, for Mage, how would they modify for Mage? They would need one for healing as well, right? 10k Starfire crits.
Could look like.
Listen, you still have to get the full set, 8 pieces of Cenarion, so it's not easy.
These are very much not finalized, so any of the stats or set bonuses could and probably will change. So first off, you'll notice we've got a tanking rogue set with a very interesting 8-piece bonus. We've also got a Shokadin Paladin set that really plays up key abilities such as Exorcism and Holy Shock. Lastly, we have a Boomkin set that really leans into some of the bonuses we've recently added to Moonkin form. Again, these are somewhat early on, rough draft versions of some of these
it's not the final version.
We think being able to make Exciting new variations of these iconic item sets is very cool, and it's going to be a defining feature of the level 60 endgame. So with that, we're done with today's presentation. Thank you for bearing with us on this one, as it was a long one. We've had a blast on this wild season of Discovery journey with you so far, and we honestly can't wait to get Phase 3 into your hands, as well as provide a bit more information on Phase 4 as we start getting
That's a lot of
little bit
information,
closer.
guys.
As always, we want to express a
I have to
heartfelt
process
thanks
this.
from the WoW Classic development team. Thank you for playing with us. Thank you for the feedback, and thank you for the participation in helping us develop this season. We'll see you again when Season of Discovery Phase 3 goes live shortly. Thank you again, and goodbye.
Boy. Phase 4 when? Wow, that's a good question. Okay, this is it, boys. We've been watching like 25 minutes of news, which felt like an hour, to be honest, but we found a lot of things. Some of them I'm excited for, some of them not so much. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. Wait and see. Weapon skills, opinions on the new changes. Listen, I agree with all the changes they're making. Simple like that. I don't have anything to comment about them. Whenever I signed up playing Season of Discovery, I kind of left outside everything about Classic. I'm not playing Classic. That's what I'm trying to say here. I don't have expectations for this to be like Classic. And I hope at level 60 there are going to be more changes. Things like this. New reputation to grind. I don't care. It's content, man. I am playing Season of Discovery. I don't know exactly in theory. It might sound good or it might be bad. We have to test it out. So far, whatever I saw in Phase 1 and Phase 2, I was okay with both of them. I enjoyed Phase 1. I enjoyed Phase 2. I'm able to farm gold. I'm able to play classes. I'm able to discover new things and so on. I'm hoping that in Phase 3, a lot of new things will come. I want to play my mage and I want to play my hunter. And another class, since we have like a 7-day cooldown, I think I want to do a raid per day. So we're going to level another class to 50, especially with the XP buffs. If I can enjoy Phase 3, it's going to be fun. If I'm not going to enjoy it, I'm going to quit. Simple like that. Profession skills will go to 300 skills, yes. I'm not sure if you're going to have access to all of the recipes though, but you will be able to get like specializations and you can level up to 300. They talked about UBRS, but I thought they talked about it in the context of level 60. So I think a lot of dungeons won't be able to access in Phase 2. I think the dungeons that we're going to be able to do in Phase 3 is going to be Mara, Zul'Farrak, Sunken Temple as a raid. Maybe we'll be allowed to enter BRD, but I doubt it. They could close it, man. I mean, they closed the Zul'Farrak, right? But in theory, BRD, you should be able to do a couple of wings at level 50. BRD is allowed? Okay, okay. Say it's open. Okay, okay. Wow. BRD farms, boys. We're gonna farm BRD. Let's go. Oh, what a rush. What a rush.